Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news just into our newsroom. The legendary guitarist Eddie Van Halen has died. Van Halen fought a long battle with throat cancer for over a decade before it recently moved to his brain. Van Halen was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame back in 2007 and is widely considered one of the greatest guitar players of all time. He died at a hospital in Santa Monica today with his wife Janie at his side. He was just 65 years old. Also breaking out of Detroit, where police are investigating a serious injury accident on 8 Mile near Shaner Street on the east side. Right now, we don't know much, but it does appear a person in a wheelchair may be trapped underneath a vehicle. Again, police are investigating an accident on 8 Mile. We'll keep you updated with the latest information. Also breaking, Detroit schools and the Detroit Federation of Teachers have agreed to a new contract. Now, the contract includes increased salaries for current teachers and a higher starting teacher salary. New district teachers will start with an average salary of more than $51,000 a year. That is the highest starting salary in the state. This contract is only a year long due to the uncertainty of district funding. Also, big breaking news from the nation's capital. President Trump just tweeted out that coronavirus relief talks are over until after the election. The president blaming House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for the failure to reach an agreement on the legislation. Now, the two sides have remained hundreds of billions of dollars apart through the discussions, with a decision to end the negotiations. Democrats and Republicans will now battle over who is to blame, while millions of Americans continue to suffer financial hardship. In a series of tweets, the president says he wants the GOP-controlled Senate to focus on confirming his Supreme Court nominee, Amy Coney Barrett. Meantime, the stock market took a dramatic turn after President Trump ended coronavirus stimulus talks. Here is a live look at the closing Dow Jones Industrials. Like you see, down 377 points for the day. And this all comes after the chairman of the Federal Reserve today said the economy needs more stimulus. In remarks to business leaders, Jerome Powell says the economic recovery from the initial impact of the pandemic still has a long way to go. While he said progress has been made, businesses and individuals still need help. Without more help from Washington, Powell predicts a weak recovery and more hardships for households and businesses. President Trump is back at the White House, still being treated for the coronavirus after a 3-night hospital stay. And according to his doctor, he is doing well. The president's movements might be restricted, but he is still speaking out. Kimberly Gill in the newsroom, where she has the very latest on the president.
I do. Hi, Karen. Good afternoon to you. The world's most recognized coronavirus patient is not in a quiet quarantine. President Trump is sending out messages on social media. He's touting his return from a hospital stay, and his doctors are painting an upbeat picture of his condition. The president remains, though, under medical treatment, but this afternoon, the White House doctor reported the president shows no symptoms of COVID-19. Still, in addition to the president and the first lady, 6 White House staffers and 6 other political figures who have been near the president have tested positive since last Thursday. The president has said he wants to get back on the campaign trail. The coronavirus is likely to be a key issue, with Joe Biden saying the pandemic is a threat, while the president says Americans should not be afraid.
I know there's a risk, there's a danger, but that's okay. And now I'm better, and maybe I'm immune, I don't know. But don't let it dominate your lives. Get out there, be careful.
There's a lot to be concerned about. 210,000 people have died. You have, about 1,000 people a day getting the coronavirus, 50,000 a week. I mean, so it's a great concern.
Well, at least one of the president's comments about the virus was shot down today. In a Twitter post, the president compared the seasonal flu with COVID-19 and said COVID is far less lethal. Well, Twitter removed the post, saying it contained incorrect information. Another new development has the members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff going into quarantine because they recently met with a top Coast Guard commander who has tested positive for COVID-19. Meanwhile, President Trump has already tweeted that he's looking forward to the next presidential debate, which is a week from this Thursday. It'll be held in Miami. Joe Biden says he's ready for it. That debate was, you might remember, originally scheduled for here in Ann Arbor. Arbor at the University of Michigan, but was relocated to Miami out of coronavirus concerns. Karen will have much more on the news at 5 and 6. Until then, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thank you, Kimberly. And here's a look at your coronavirus headlines. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services issues an emergency order requiring K-12 schools to notify their respective school community about coronavirus cases within 24 hours. The state is reporting 903 new cases, and we've lost 22 more people to the virus in the past day. On the national front, the U.S. has surpassed 7,485,000 confirmed cases. More than 210,000 people have died from the virus. Those numbers are from the Johns Hopkins University database. Meantime, an updated influential coronavirus model now predicts COVID-19 could kill more than 2,900 people daily by late December.
We're starting to see the Midwest and the Northwest an uptick in test positivity, which tends to be a predictor that you're going to have surges.
Some of those surges could come from complacency. Experts warn we need to remain vigilant through the rest of the fall, the winter, and probably next spring until there's a vaccine. Here at home, Governor Whitmer says her actions throughout the coronavirus pandemic have saved thousands of lives. The governor believes the Republican-led legislature and the Michigan Supreme Court of putting those lives at risk after the Supreme Court strikes down her executive orders.
As a result of this action, of the court's action and the legislature's action, our COVID-19 cases could likely go up. There will be uncertainty, there will be disruption, and possibly greater risk to our economy, to our loved ones, possibly more people quarantined and more fatalities.
Meantime, mask requirements remain in effect across the state. Masks must be worn at indoor and outdoor gatherings, including at schools. Also, bars must close indoor common areas. This order remains in effect through October 30th. You might remember several weeks ago, the CDC had posted information on their website regarding the way COVID-19 can be spread through the air. Now, the information was quickly taken down with a statement that it had not been completely reviewed. They have now re-updated that information. Dr. McGeorge here with the details.
The whole sequence of information being posted and then essentially retracted was odd, especially since it was good information on what we believe to be an important mode of transmission: droplets and even finer aerosols. The current revised CDC guidance acknowledges that COVID-19 can be airborne, being spread by exposure to small droplets and aerosols that can linger in the air for minutes to hours. Now, the CDC also says that under certain conditions, evidence shows that people with COVID-19 appeared to have infected others who were more than 6 feet away, and more specifically, often involved activities that caused heavier breathing, like singing or exercise. Going on to say, those environments and activities may contribute to the buildup of virus-carrying particles, and that transmissions took place within enclosed spaces that had inadequate ventilation. Now, the CDC still says it is much more common for the virus to spread through close contact than through distant airborne transmission. The takeaway point is that extra care should be taken when people are engaging in activities indoors like exercise or singing, and it's an acknowledgement that being indoors, especially important as we head into fall and winter, has inherent risk. Masks, distance, and improved ventilation are all important to reduce that risk. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Doctor. Coming up at 5, Dr. McGeorge will be back to discuss the president's tweet comparing the coronavirus to the flu, that tweet that was pulled down, and what the numbers actually say. We'll take a closer look at 5. Indecision 2020. During a news conference this afternoon, Governor Whitmer announced election clerks can get a jump on counting absentee ballots before November 3rd. The governor signed a bill that allows election clerks in cities or townships of at least 25,000 people are able to start processing absentee ballots 1 day before the election. The new law also allows clerks to notify voters whose ballot is rejected for any reason.
The bill ensures that clerks will notify voters of any reason that their vote won't be counted within 48 hours. Giving voters the chance to solve problems with their absentee ballot is essential and it is critical to ensuring that every voter can exercise their constitutional right to vote absentee and to make sure that their vote counts.
The This comes as a record 2.7 million voters have requested absentee ballots. And early voting got underway in Ohio. Voters lined up to cast their votes. You're getting a look at those long lines in Ohio's three major cities of Cincinnati, Columbus, and Cleveland. Most voters were masked up and socially distant while they waited hours to vote. Still to come, the pandemic is not just impacting people's health. Many in Metro Detroit have lost their jobs. After the break, we introduce you to a Macomb County organization working to ease the burden. We continue to follow big breaking news. All-American guitar hero Eddie Van Halen has died. The cause? Throat cancer. His namesake, hard rock band Van Halen, he redefined the sound and possibilities of the electric guitar. Eddie Van Halen was 65 years old. Busy news day, breaking news. President Trump just tweeted out that coronavirus relief talks are over until after the election, meaning millions of Americans will continue to suffer financial hardship. In a series of tweets, the president says he wants the GOP-controlled Senate to focus on confirming his Supreme Court nominee, Amy Coney Barrett.